Hey guys, welcome back to According To. I'm Megan.
And I'm Ciera. For this week's episode, Megan and I thought it'd be fun to run through, at least in our heads, what a potential launch of a relationship would be like in terms of social media.
This is not a forewarning, you guys. Just
No.
FYI. But we were just obviously we've been on social media for quite a long time. We've never had to do any sort of launch or anything. We haven't been in relationships serious enough to get to that point. But we've also kind of grown up and see other people, that we watch and how they navigate posting or not posting their relationships online.
And even people who don't have a social media following, I feel still in some way, shape, or form, think about how they're going to launch their relationship. Just because it's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So that's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. We'll talk about kind of, especially since we post on different platforms, what that would maybe look like on different platforms. So that's going to be what this episode's about.
And this is all just a thought experiment.
We'll have to see what happens in real life.
Don't say, whenever one of us gets into a relationship, however we, reveal that or whatever, don't come back here and say, you said you're going to do X, Y, and Z. This is just two single girlies thinking about how we may or may not launch a relationship.
Yeah, and the thoughts that are going on in our heads.
And just talking about this is going to also probably be sharing our thoughts on other things that we've witnessed in terms of how we've seen people launch their relationships, if we think it's a good idea or bad idea. So
before we do that, we're going to talk about our weekly spotlights and our book updates. So my weekly spotlight, I would have to say, is probably our book club that we did last Wednesday. I am really, really loving just the girl group we've got together for that book club. And I like that we're carving out this once a month-ish time period to just get together with, some different people and hang out. And obviously it's centered around the book club, but it also is just a fun time for everyone to catch up and talk about life and recent events. So it's been really fun. We hosted it outside this time. The video just went up today. We're recording on a Sunday. We had the intention of making a YouTube video focused around us hosting the book club and kind of what that looked like. Flashback to earlier this year too, when we were talking about our goals for this year, I said that I wanted to work on becoming a better host. And I feel with the book club, that's been having us work on that some more. And I've really been enjoying it. So I can say I'm checking that off of my list.
And we're even since we hosted it outside, we really got some supplies that, now going into hosting more things, either just book club, outside or beyond book club. Now we've actually gotten some things to host with.
Yes.
As far as servingware and that kind of stuff.
So we
got a tablecloth.
The little taco night. It was cute. It was a cute setup. We tried to have Vegas come outside and, hang out outside, but he was just getting a little too rowdy, so then Ciera brought him back and put him inside. I think we might ask Maggie if she would like to host the next book club, but we'll see. I haven't asked her, so this could be a surprise.
She might listen to this and before we even ask her.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just it's funny because usually our book club runs from 7 to 9-ish is the time frame.
Mm-hmm. Which is ideal because that's kind of when Megan and I put Vegas to bed and we kind of head upstairs. And I wasn't going to kick anyone out early.
Everyone was having a fun time chatting away.
But
it's
Megan and I afterwards,
9:30.
we were talking Vegas is probably getting antsy because he's been in his crate now for an hour or two. And I need to take him outside. I was going to take him on a walk before I brought him back in to go to bed. And so it's just logistically me thinking of all of this stuff. We wrapped up pretty shortly after 9:30 and then
Ciera took Vegas on a walk.
Yeah.
It's been too hot to take him on a walk right after work, so we've been doing later evening walks.
Mm-hmm. Closer to 7 or 8.
So that was good. And I think we're even going to try and do a little lake weekend getaway with our book club group. So that'll be fun. I think that'll be
I'm actually surprised
early mid-August.
Assuming this goes through, but I'm surprised at how many people have availability.
Yeah, I know, because this weekend is a group of 8 to 10 people. It's kind of hard to coordinate that many people, and this was
even coordinating
kind of
book
last
club.
minute.
You know what I mean? Coordinating a time to do with the book club meeting once a month is kind of hard.
But I feel weekdays work better. I think, especially for summertime, because then if people are doing things, it's going to be on a weekend, and there's more people that
which
have
is why I'm
weekend
surprised that the lake is on a weekend.
And it seems like no one has said that they're for sure not going or that it doesn't work. So like I think we are set on a weekend. It's going to be at least whoever can comes. But awesome. I'm just excited. I'm glad.
It should be fun. Other updates and stuff. It's Father's Day weekend, so we just went to Carroll with our dad. He's from Carroll, and that's where his dad is at. And so we did like an early Father's Day yesterday. And then we're doing like another Father's Day thing tomorrow on Monday. So we're not really actually doing anything like Father's Day related on Father's Day. We're recording this podcast on Father's Day. But it just worked out with like what we needed to do.
And I got my hair cut yesterday. So that was another fun little highlight of my weekend/week.
I have 2 grievances to share. I have not had a hot start to my day today. So Megan and I went and worked out. And I feel like we've talked to you guys about like, this is like back in undergrad specifically.
More an undergrad problem.
Like Megan and I would not work out in the morning because we'd always feel like sick and unwell. And that was just like doing anything.
I was also talking to Ciera today. I think, Sasha, I've thought for a while. I think we both have a mild form of POTS. Like a lot of those symptoms of like being orthostatic or like getting black blurry vision. That happens often enough that like I think we have something like that. But also like, what are you gonna do?
But like I've been working out in the morning pretty consistently for a while now, and so it typically hasn't been bothering me. I haven't been getting too like lightheaded or like unwell, and I think I've determined for whatever reason it's like whenever I try and do like hip thrusts during my workout is when I feel unwell. So Meg and I do a leg day this morning. We do our squats. Those squats actually like went very well, I thought. Wasn't having any issues. Been trying to bump up our weight a little bit, and then I was like, you know what, let's do some hip thrusts. Like we haven't done hip thrusts in a while. And so set those up, do 1 set, it's fine. Do the second set, and then I get up and I just like have a moment.
It has to be like the low positioning with then going to get back up and just like the high intensity and isometric.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then I get up and it's like, I don't know how to describe it unless you've experienced it yourself. You might know what I'm talking about, but it's just like, you don't feel like in that moment, like you're going to like throw up, pass out, but I'm just like, I need to pause for a second before like things could get worse.
For me, like when it's like a more intense one, what usually happens to me is like my vision's going dark and I start to not be able to see anything, and like my whole body gets kind of like light and tingly.
Mm-hmm. And then like I start to like really like profusely sweat is what I've noticed, like, or like it's like almost like a cold sweat. Like I like feel like my temperature drops, but then like I'm sweating. Anyway, we had like technically one more set after that, but like Megan finishes her second set and I'm like, girlie, I don't feel well. So then I start walking to the bathroom, which like I probably just shouldn't have gone to the bathroom because like then I'm getting up and walking an extended period of time.
And I wasn't following her. I was like,
which in hindsight, but like I just sometimes you like when you don't feel well, you just like want to get out of everyone else's way. And so like my first thought is like go to the bathroom and like collect myself a little bit. And so I'm like walking to the bathroom and like being upright and walking, obviously like my blood pressure's already dropped and I don't feel good. So like now it's just continuing to drop. And so like by the time I got to the bathroom, I'm not kidding, my vision is black. I can't see anything. I'm feeling around to try and like locate the first stall and then like trying to like I've had my vision go black before, but like never this bad where I'm just like, hello, I can't see anything right now. Like, what is going on? Like, I wasn't thinking I was going to actually pass out, but I was like,
if there was
how much worse does this need to get for me to pass out? Is what I was thinking. But then I, figure everything out. I like got in the stall and like got everything situated. And then I like sat down and it was just like, okay, just like chill, rest, whatever. Because like really that's all you can do. Like, I mean, technically, probably laying down on my back would have been the best thing to do. But at that point, I'm already in the bathroom. So I'm going to sit down, collect myself. It takes like a few minutes for me to like have my vision like fully back and feel well enough to, and then you gotta like wait, like when you start to feel well, then it's like you can't just pop right back up and like get back to it. You gotta let your blood pressure like normalize a little bit. So I'm like, okay, I'm sitting, feel okay, and then I like stand up and I'm like, okay, I think I still feel fine. And then I start walking out into the gym again. And then after I have one of those episodes, my workout's basically done and I just like go and like stretch or something because like I'm just not pushing it. But maybe I have just come to the conclusion perhaps hip thrusts are just not for me. Because I feel like I haven't like actually kept track of it, but like I feel that that's always like when it happens. So, and then that was just number one thing today. When we podcast, we always take Vegas to our mom's house on a little play date. And so I'm getting him situated, and then I open my back car door and I realize that I have the, like, it's not a crock pot, but it's just like a food warmer that we borrowed from our grandma for our book club. And I'm like, oh, I need to move that to the trunk so then Vegas can sit in the car. So I set my phone on top of my car. I'm like moving that stuff, whatever, getting Vegas situated, and I put it in my trunk. And so then I'm closing my trunk door, and I hear like a weird like sound. I'm like, oh, that was kind of weird. And I'm like, whatever. And then I like look for my phone. My phone is sticking like straight up and down between the trunk door and the roof of my car, but like horizontally, you know, because it was like long ways. And I'm like, oh, it's pinched between the trunk door and my roof. That was probably the weird noise that just happened. And at this point, my screen isn't cracked. That's what I'm getting to. My screen cracked. But I tried to pull it out, and I couldn't. So I'm like, okay, I think I need to open it. And when it opened, it like goes and pinches the screen. And I was like, oh. So I have a Genius Bar appointment in about 2.5 hours to get my screen fixed. Luckily, I think it's just the screen. Like, my phone is working fine. And I know some people are probably out there, like, working with cracked phones and stuff. I just hate it. Like, not even, like, I don't obviously like the look of it, but I hate how it feels. Like, I'm just paranoid I'm going to, like, cut my finger or something. Like, it's elevated enough that, like, I can feel it, and I don't like it. I'm someone
that, because I've cracked my screen, like, once or twice before, and I just prefer to get it fixed right away.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't have a screen protector, so. But I'm, like, for some reason, I'm anti-screen protector. I don't know if that would have helped in this case, where it would have, like, cracked the screen protector, and then, like, I would just need to get a screen protector replacement. I don't really know how it works, but my Casetify case could not help me in this situation because it doesn't help. Pinched it right in. Yeah. So that's unfortunate, but so that's how my day has started. But otherwise, I'm in good spirits. I'm hopeful that I'll just go to the mall and
hopefully it's not.
Will you come with me? Because like I need someone to probably like have them contact me.
I was gonna go with anyways because I figured like if you're gonna be there for a while, I just would rather be at the mall also than like stuck here in Vegas. He'll be worn out and tired. He'll need a nap anyways.
So,
book updates. Let's see. What's the most recent update I've given you guys? I think we said we finished Project Hail Mary, the reread.
I just finished You Should Be So Lucky by Cat Sebastian.
I just finished The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. If you follow me on Goodreads, you already would have seen me saying this in my little review. I gave it 4 stars. I did enjoy it. If you don't know, that's the same author that wrote Fourth Wing. She does have other non-fantasy books. But I was basically almost done with it on my Kindle. I was like, okay, things are shaping up nicely, wrapping in a cute little bow. I have a half hour left in my book according to my Kindle. I'll go upstairs, finish it. It'll be good. And if you've read that book, you know there's something tragic that happens at the end that I was just so not expecting. And it kind of shocked me, but nonetheless. And I was like, Ciera, do you want me to tell you what happens? But I think she might read it.
I haven't decided.
So I'll leave it as a surprise for now. But I was just like, what the heck? So I had there were small tears.
Oh, wow.
Small tears.
Like the most emotion you've ever gotten reading a book?
Probably not, but.
I gave my book 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I'm currently now reading The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy. So
I am currently reading what book? What am I reading? Oh, The Naturals.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what is it? I'm about a third of the way through. I'm at page 100. So if you haven't heard of The Naturals, it's the YA series that's kind of described as being like a young Criminal Minds cast. Like there are all these people with like a natural ability to do stuff that the FBI needs, so they're in a training program. I'm liking it so far, but and it'll probably like be a quick read because it's not super long.
I read the first 2 books and I've just kind of read them as filler books. It surprises me, like I enjoy them enough, but it surprises me that people are like, this is a 5-star series for me.
Yeah,
I'm just like, I literally finish it and I forget it like by the next day. Like I'm not kidding.
And then I don't know what I'm gonna read next. I have my list, but I'm kind of like straying from that like list I was keeping on my phone of books I was gonna read. So yeah.
For our book club book, we ended up picking out The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich. So if you guys want to read that at some point within the next month with us,
we'll probably talk about how we feel about it.
And I know it's the Barnes & Noble like book of the month pick or whatever. Not book of the month, but like it's their monthly pick. And so that must be like whoever in our book club suggested that book choice. She must have seen it for that because like it was published 2 years ago
and
I've never heard of it
everywhere
before.
When we were at Barnes and Noble.
Like we saw it like 3 separate times like displayed at Barnes and Nobles. I said that weird. Barnes and Nobles. So yeah, hopefully that means it'll be a good pick for us.
Yeah.
And I haven't read like a dystopian book in a while.
I think it'll be a good switch up. So
okay. Any other updates or things that we need to share? I don't think so. Okay, so to the discussion for today's discussion, I did have a note that I made of like different talking points, but you guys know, you've listened to this podcast, assuming this isn't your first episode. We are, I mean, me especially, I've forever been single. Megan has technically been in a how long relationship? 2-month relationship.
Which I kind of like, at this point, I just don't really think about as an actual relationship, but we'll give that disclaimer out there.
So my first thing that I wanted to talk about,
and I didn't post nothing about him. I think that we did a Q&A once on TC2, and I did say like I was dating someone, but like that was it. Otherwise, nowhere.
So before we even like enter into a relationship, let's say like you're going on a first date or you're going on dates with someone, like how open do you see yourself being? Mostly like on YouTube. Like we wouldn't obviously talk about it on Instagram.
To be honest, because I know there's some people, I'd be more apt to talk. Is that the word I'm looking for? I'd be more open to talking. Yeah, that's probably, I was like, what is the word I'm looking for? And this is something I'm kind of like, I debate on like what I should or shouldn't say if I'm going on like a first or second date. But I honestly feel like what we talk about on the podcast the few times that I have, like I keep it bare bones and like I don't really have much that I'm saying. I'm not doxing anyone. I'm not like criticizing anyone. Right. So I don't mind how I go about, you know, if I want to talk about like a first few dates on the podcast, I don't really have any issue with that. Maybe I'll change my mind later on. I think once you get past the first few dates, if things start getting more serious,
then you drop back down.
Kind of drop back down
under the radar.
Keep you guys out of the loop a little bit just to really see what I'm feeling, how things are going.
You go dark.
I go dark. So if I start mentioning a couple dates here and there, and then all of a sudden I go dark and there's no revisiting, maybe. But then sometimes
it could also just be like it fizzled out.
Nothing happened.
I think that I agree with that.
Because I like maintaining, like I like being honest with you guys. I think dating in your 20s is a rough time. I like sharing the few experiences that I've had just to like fill you guys in, say what's going on. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah. I mostly see myself just like, because we obviously do vlogs and stuff, like if we were to be vlogging a week in our life where like, let's say I'm going on a first date or something, then like I feel like I would do like, oh, like I'm getting ready for a first date. And then like
and
that's
also,
it,
though,
you know?
Because we haven't done that before where we've been vlogging and getting ready for a date. It's pretty easy to like not include those things, you guys, too. Like I don't specifically recall if we had been vlogging and opted out of like not showing stuff for a date, or if we just happened to not be vlogging when those things were going on.
Or it's easy enough, like luckily with the two of us, like
it'll be like if I go dark for the evening, you maybe won't notice.
Because I know there was one time, I don't even know if this was like a week in our life or what, but like you were putting your bed together or something, and like that was your task, and I was like going on a movie date that night,
and nothing was said,
and so like you were just like recording you putting your bed together. That's the only time I can really think about like omitting dating or anything. Otherwise it just like doesn't fall on like the same days that we're vlogging.
Like
so.
And also it's just like for those first couple dates, like other than like using it to maybe have like a get ready component for a vlog where like that would be fine. And don't get me wrong, like on TikTok I love a first date recap. I love a get ready with me for a date. I love a recap of a date. That's just not me. I just like don't make that kind of content. I hardly use TikTok anyways. I should get better about it, but I don't think that's going to be the content I would do. But I hope everyone else keeps doing it because I love it.
I love, like, I am a consumer of that content as well, but you guys should just not expect that from me. Like,
I also don't feel like I would talk as well or like give like a good story of the date, like, which is what makes it entertaining.
And like I'm like for a get ready with me, like I'm open to saying like, oh, like we met like in person or like on an app, like just a quick little like, you know, here's what's been said, here's where we're like what we're doing. I would definitely
be better at that than doing any sort of
like
recap.
I'm not recapping. I might say like went well, like, you know, that's it, or like maybe it didn't go well, but like then that's about it. So that is like before any relationship has ever happened. I'd probably keep things just like very light, and it would like literally only be mentioned on like podcasts maybe, but like probably more so YouTube. I don't know. And then like Instagram's not even a factor at this point, because no one posts on Instagram when they're like just going on dates with someone.
Okay. Do we want to, I don't know how you had your stuff organized. I don't know if you want to do it by like stage of relationship and then just like for that go through each.
Well, this is like we kind of did talk about this. So it said like if yes to the previous question, which is like when you're like thoughts on talking about a relationship before it's even technically a relationship. At what point do you go dormant and stop talking about it? Like if the dates are going well and you're like, maybe this will turn into a relationship, which we kind of did cover.
We did kind of. I feel like it'd be after maybe like a third date. I would assume if I'm still seeing someone at that point and I'm doing an adequate self-reflection of like, is this going well, or am I just going to go? Then at that point I probably would pull back a little bit. So that'll be my arbitrary
And I'm also
number.
trying to like hopefully like projecting like what I see myself like desiring when going on more dates, like beyond a second or third date. Like instead of like just getting like, oh, we're just gonna keep going on dates, like I'm trying to be more mindful of like actually be interested in them if you're going to continue going on dates. And therefore I kind of agree with like the 3 date, like, okay, go dark.
Especially then, because after that, like if you are kind of progressing towards a relationship, it's probably not going to be just like date after date. At that point, then it's going to be like hanging out for prolonged periods of time, like getting to know maybe their friends or them meeting your friends. Like, and that'd be harder to, like, I'd probably be like, I'm not vlogging said day or time because that'd be too much of a gap.
Yeah. You have to coordinate
It
things.
can't be that hard. Like, I'm making it sound harder than it hopefully is.
I know. So then I think we enter into a relationship. Okay. Where do you first confirm like you're in a relationship social media wise?
Before this, do you feel like someone needs to specifically ask you to be there?
Yes.
I feel like yes too.
Because otherwise I'm like,
I'd be like,
so we're
what
still
exactly,
just going on dates? Like, what's going on?
Okay, what was your question again?
Where, like, what social media platform do you first, like, confirm, like, you're in a relationship?
I feel like because I've never had the opportunity to do so, I do kind of think it'd be fun to do, like, to tease you guys a little bit and or my Instagram followers with, like, some sort of, like, light, soft launch.
So you think Instagram first?
I do think so. X is not even a fact. We're not talking about X in this podcast because that does not pertain to anything.
So you're not including podcast?
No, sorry, I'm not talking about X, Twitter.
Oh.
Ciera's like, I wasn't even thinking about it.
No. I don't use Twitter or X. So I was thinking I would probably say something on our YouTube or podcast first. Mostly because like I post so infrequently on Instagram.
Yeah.
And like I don't imagine like hiding like when I enter into a relationship. Like I feel like I would like say like, by the way, I've been like seeing someone, like we just made things official. So like I am dating someone, but like that would probably be it. At least for now. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like between our YouTube, the podcast, and Instagram, like it's kind of going to be a crapshoot. I feel like it just depends on like when the opportunity presents itself. If we were to, because it's like, okay, basically exclusivity, like pin is in from, okay, we're dating now. And then it's kind of like from that point on, am I able to take a cute soft launch photo that I'd want to post on my Instagram story? If so, if that's the first thing that happens, maybe that happens first. If that does not happen, and I feel, it really just depends on like if I feel ready to talk about it on YouTube or a podcast. I would probably talk about it on the podcast first because I feel like it would make the most sense. We update you guys just about our lives on here versus the vlog. It'd maybe have to be more of a situation of like, by the way, I am dating someone where we have plans to do this thing, and that's probably would be like highlight
and
you
like
guys
I'm
know,
not gonna vlog,
and I'm not gonna vlog that.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see any number of those things. being how it happens. It does have to be like, you know, your official, and then like anything after that is fair game potentially. Okay, then I have the Instagram reveal. How you said soft launch. There's like debate on, you know, would you soft launch or hard launch? Would you exclusively? Do you picture yourself doing like an in-feed soft launch?
Huh?
Would you do like in-feed?
It depends on the photos I have available. It depends.
You do more dumps than I do, I feel like. I feel like if you're going to do a soft launch,
it'd be within a dump.
In the feed, it has to be within a dump. Like, you can't do that as a cover photo.
No.
I think, personally.
It would
like,
probably
like swiping through and then you're like,
picture.
Wait, that's a little interesting. Is she
I'm not opposed. I could see myself doing it. It just depends on the photo collection I have.
I picture if I were to do any sort of soft launch, it would be like story-based. And then the in-feed post is probably just going to be a picture of me and him at some point. Which is then, when do you do the full
See, this is such a... We've talked about this before in one of our episodes, but it's like, it does not matter about like a timeline to me. It matters about the photo is what it comes down to for like an in-feed Instagram post.
But like, let's say you've made things official a week ago. It's been a week. You have a cute picture. Would you post it?
No. That's too soon.
So
that's a little too soon.
What is your
timeline? What I'd be more open to is if there was like something I was doing, like an event of some kind, or maybe like, I don't know, let's just throw an example of like we're at the lake house or something. If I had something I wanted to post, but then also had a dump, you could delete photos in a dump. So I could do, again, I'd still have to be like, this is a good enough picture of the both of us. I would include maybe it in the dump. Because I'm at the stage now in my life where I'm kind of like, if I'm entering into a relationship with someone, I really do think like I gotta be interested in them and like see it. Hopefully we're starting off well and on a strong point where I'm not like second guessing myself a week into the relationship already.
Yeah.
That I would like to say I'd be confident enough to include them in the dump. But it really just depends on how I feel about them. I'm just hoping I feel strongly about them.
Yeah. I feel like historically I've always said like I picture myself waiting 3 months. Part of that probably is me being like paranoid that
like we don't really know how to feel about someone.
I'd be like, I want to make sure it lasts 3 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe that's just me being like, I don't know if it's gonna work out. Sorry. When I was looking at
style speaking,
when I was looking at TikToks trying to like get some insight from other people about this topic, there was a girl on the Delusional Diaries podcast. I think her name was Carly, and her friend were talking about this. Like, when would you hard launch or face reveal your significant other? And she said 3 months, but then she was like, also maybe wait until like you each say like I love you to the other person, which is not like a bad.
That's a good idea.
Like, at that point, if you're saying I love you to the other person, then like you're confident in the relationship, and I feel like that's a marker that it's gonna last
at least
longer.
Yeah.
That being said, I've never been in a relationship at all, and then I've never said I love you to someone. So I'm like, is that gonna be a long time? Is it gonna be like soon?
When you know,
I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but like I liked the thought of that as like instead of just doing like time as a gauge, like where's the relationship
I want
at?
To be,
you know what I mean?
Based in how I feel about the person, so that'd be a good gauge.
But I don't know. It was just the first time I heard that thought. I was like, it's not a bad idea. Instead of just like waiting an arbitrary 3 months. It's been 3 months. You passed.
Another interesting talking point, just like as an aside to this topic of conversation, is like, kind of like what you expect of your significant other to post of you. So we can chat about that a little bit.
Okay.
So
personally, if I'm dating someone who like doesn't post anything, I don't really expect anything.
Yeah. Some people just quite literally
like
do
if
not
his
care.
last post was like 3 years ago, then I'm like, okay, he doesn't really use Instagram, so I don't expect him to post me anywhere. If he's someone who posts like regularly enough where it's like, well, I'm doing stuff
especially
with you.
if we're taking good photos together and you're still not wanting to post with me,
I'd be curious as to why. But like, I don't need him to do like a hard launch or anything. Like, he doesn't need
that's
to do
the girl's
job.
He doesn't need to do a strategic reveal or plan.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll say, hey, whatever our first post together is, just do a joint post with me.
No. I would say, actually, we're breaking up. I hate. Sorry to all my joint posters out there. I don't like joint posts, personally. Unless it's like an engagement or like a marriage and like this
that.
like your, you know, marriage reveal.
I don't mind
engagement reveal.
Post.
I personally don't love them. So mostly because it's the ones that are like the girl posts it and like the captions from her point of view, and then like let's say I only follow the guy but like I don't follow the girl, and then it just kind of confuses me like reading the caption because I'm thinking like Derek's posting something and he's like, had so much fun at the lake this weekend with my lover, like, and it's just like, Derek, what are you saying? But then it's his girlfriend that posted that and he just tagged along for the ride. I'm talking way too deep into this. I just don't like the joint post. Versus if it's like, you know, introducing Mr. and Mrs. so-and-so. I'm like, okay. That's from either of their point of views. So.
Okay.
Yeah, personally, I would not do. I'm also just like, you post it. I think we've talked about this before, where I'm like, I don't want to like post a cute photo and have to be like, yeah, just let me jump on that, or like jump in on that one. I'd be like, what would you say about this photo?
Here's how I view it, and I get what you're saying. I think this could be a good compromise for the guys that don't post a lot on Instagram,
mm-hmm.
and the girls would like to be in the guy's feed.
Okay.
You know?
Fair.
I think that's a fair compromise.
This is more so, like, if he doesn't post, I don't care if he doesn't post. Like,
I don't have to do a joint post.
Right? I don't need to be on his feed. But if he does post, and he's just like, let me just, like, hop in on that post. I'm like, no, you post it. What would you caption this picture? So.
You just want a little more effort then.
Yeah.
If it's going to be intentional, it better be intentional.
I'd be like, you can post this same photo. I would love to know what you would caption this. That's where I stand on that.
You say, you post it, I'll do the joint post.
Yeah, there you go.
You post it, and then I'll tag along.
I'll edit it for you. You caption it, and then I'll add myself in.
There's many ways to go about it.
Do you kind of feel the same way in terms of what you expect? Would you expect him to like post you on like National Girlfriend Day? Or
I do think like it'd be nice for like a story post, but like I don't right now. This is me speaking right now, and I don't know. I could be a different person when I'm in a relationship. I don't think it would bother me not to, like if he didn't, but maybe
would you expect him?
I'm speaking too soon.
Like, let's say social media aside, would you like a text from him on National Girlfriend Day? Be like,
I think
Girlfriend
even
Day?
kind of as a joke. Like if it's happening and he's gonna see that it's National Girlfriend Day, it would be kind of
like at least acknowledge me.
Acknowledge, hey, by the way, happy National Girlfriend Day.
Yeah,
I feel like because if right now I was dating someone, it was like National Boyfriend Day, I'd be like, happy National Boyfriend Day, I guess, because like no one really cares. I don't know that I would post something on my story either, because like it's just one of those days that like I feel like we make up. It doesn't really matter. I would post something more meaningful on like an anniversary or something.
You know what I wouldn't do?
Tap post.
No.
Oh, tap in.
Ladies with boyfriends, tap in. It's boyfriend day, or like whatever stupid thing they say.
I don't like them either.
Hate what are they even called? Add yours. Like that's what it says at the bottom.
Those like sticker story things on Instagram where it's just like
tap in.
When people say tap in.
Literally. Yeah, there was one that I just saw, and it was like, state champs, tap in. There ain't many of us. What do you mean? There are thousands of state champions. Hundreds of thousands, probably. Like, I've been a state champ before. I've been a regional champion before. Regional beam champ, 2014, Excel, Platinum.
Tap in.
Tap in, if that's you. For Iowa specifically, in this age group. It's just me.
There ain't many of us.
No, ain't many of us, just me. Okay. What are we even on right now? Next thought. Okay, this is relating to like when people do soft launches, which you said you are partially like, interested in doing.
If I have the opportunity, like I either do it or I don't.
Right.
So I kind of want to take advantage of the opportunity.
How long do you drag out the soft launch? Because you're inevitably like building up hype around this person. And hopefully, you're like the hype is well deserved because they're like the greatest person, like most beautiful man to walk the earth, ideally. But, there is the chance that you're overhyping them. And then when you do the post,
I think
there's going to be some letdown. How much hype
to be honest,
do you give him?
I don't think it would be like a lot of like breadcrumbs leading up to like this grand reveal. Just knowing how little I use Instagram stories specifically, if that's kind of what we're talking about, And also, like, I don't post that much on Instagram anyways either. So I don't think I'd have a whole lot of opportunity.
You'd have like one really, dump like, probably before like the 3 month.
And then it would just, I would post things as I wanted to if I felt like it was a good or cute soft launch type of thing. Before then, maybe we get to the point of saying I love you, or I feel like, okay, now like an in-feed post is warranted. So it really would just be like how many of those exist in that time frame. But like some people are really, really strategic with like their soft launch, and
some people are like the mirror, like they're like behind you but like hiding their face. I would not be doing that. Like that is kind of embarrassing in my mind. Like I don't mind like the hand at the table, like when you're at dinner, when it's like, oh, like we're just like at dinner and like, you can just see his hand, you know what I mean? But when people are just like, the mirror pictures are like what I'm specifically thinking of, where it's like they're hiding their face, like they put like an emoji on their face. I'm like, now you're just like egging people on. Like the first one I can say
the face reveal.
Face reveal now. Like the first one I can justify and say, well, they're just at dinner and his hand just happens to be in it. This one I'm like, now you're just like being annoying.
I don't think like I would not be out here like strategically planning soft launch photos. So yeah.
What are your thoughts on like the people talking about private, secret, whatever relationships?
Private versus, or like private but not secret.
Yeah.
Here's, because this kind of like expands into vlogging as well, since we vlog often enough. And I would say my first thought is like, it's going to depend on like whoever I'm with, how much they do or don't want to be in front of the camera. I personally, as long as I've like kind of like been dating this person for a while and I feel like we're at a good spot and I feel like this is kind of like going to be a prolonged relationship, I am okay with them being in vlogs as little or as much as they want, within reason. Like, this is not going to become like a couple's vlog channel, so then I'd be like, hold your horses. But, you know, I feel like I'm open to that. Some people I know want to, like, would rather just like keep things separately. I just kind of don't view myself as doing that because, you know, like, if our family wants to be in vlogs, like, we let them in our vlogs. Like, I just feel like if they wanted or were okay with that, I would also be okay with that. And if we end up breaking up, then I guess so be it. But I don't think I'd forcibly be like, you're not allowed in my vlogs because I don't want anyone to see you.
I kind of feel the same way. I would have to see, like, as the relationship progresses, like, I would obviously probably start off at least by saying, like, I'm dating someone, like, I'm going to go do this with them and, like, just not vlog anything. But then, as you said, if the relationship progresses and we're dating for an extended period of time, I don't know, like, what the, like, maybe after, like, we do the Instagram face reveal and, like, people, like, know what he looks like, then it's like, okay, well, he can be in a vlog. I'm not going to hide him now. You know what I mean?
I kind of, because feasibly, I'm probably going to want to do Instagram first before YouTube. Like, that just makes the most sense, I think. So then the face reveal is not going to be on YouTube. So at least if the face reveal is done and out of the way on Instagram.
Now we're timing this out. This is making sense.
If the face reveal is done on Instagram, people know what this person looks like, then they could be in the background and I wouldn't be like, hide yourself. Or they could, you know, say a few things here and there. And I'd be like, okay, I'll let it slide.
What are your 2 cents, sir? Hold the microphone up to him. Would you ever let him be on podcast?
Maybe.
I'm open to it too. It depends on what the episode is. Yeah. And how long we've been dating. I don't know. If he has something to contribute
he has to earn the rights to it.
If he's got something to contribute, then why not? If we break up, I just never go back and watch that episode again.
Yeah, there you go.
I could private it. I don't know. It would probably be a while before we would allow someone into the sacred realm of this podcast.
Yes.
Okay. Last, like, talking point that I had, and this isn't so much related to, like, us launching relationships, but I thought it was just, like, do you know or are you aware that, like, people will unfollow people who, like, reveal that they're dating someone or, like, do a hard launch or soft launch? Specifically, like, if a guy launches his girlfriend, then, like, girls will unfollow him, and then vice versa for girls. Isn't that weird? Like, more so, like, let's say you were following someone
as if they stood a chance.
You were interested or, like, whatever. I'm like, well, then why didn't you shoot your shot? Like, were you just going to follow them forever? Like, I don't follow anyone just because I think they're good looking. I don't think. It's either people that I know or it's celebrities. which in some ways is because they're good looking, but I'm also a fan. Like, I don't even follow Charles Leclerc. If there's anyone that I was following
it would
on
be
social
him.
media because I thought they were good looking,
it
would be him. I don't follow him. I go to his page every once in a while.
I go to his page every once in a while. Sometimes he's on my Explore page. I had to go like and hype him up for the Monaco win. But other than that, I mean, it's some people follow people because they think they're attractive, and then that breaks their fantasy up, I guess. So
I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I think it's weird that they're following them for that purpose in the first place. Where it's like, it's when you have like the local people, it's like, we talked about how we think that's weird anyways.
Yeah.
First of all, if I followed someone because I thought they were cute and they were like local, I'm going to be shooting my shot.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Like, I'm not just
following to watch idly by. Like, if I follow them and they follow me back, either they're going to DM me or I'm going to DM them, or I'm not going to follow them anymore, you know?
Mm-hmm.
This has never happened. But I'm just saying, like, it would quite literally only be that way or the highway. I'm getting out of there.
Okay. Would you do TikTok couple things with them?
I mean, I don't post on TikTok that much anyways.
I know.
If there was, like, a trend or something that was funny, like, I would maybe, like, do it that I could at least draft it. But, like, if it was funny enough, I would maybe post it. I don't know. I'm not really for or against that.
I'm kind of I don't post a lot anyways, so, like, I probably just wouldn't do it because I wouldn't. Or maybe, like, it'd be a trend that I would do just for fun and then draft it. But I would like to think I like the person I'm dating enough to kind of, like, have some fun with them in that sense, whether or not it gets posted. So...
Isn't it just, like, so funny how, like, the entire time we're talking about this, we're just like, God, I hope I like them enough.
I hope I'm not, like, forcing myself to like them.
Yeah. That's how it feels.
Is this
these
part
days.
of being avoidant or not?
I feel like I yearn to like someone, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know I am avoidant, kind of, but... I'm also just like, someone please be, like, good looking enough or likable enough for me to be interested in them.
Mm-hmm. You're yearning. I yearn. What is the children yearn for minds?
Yeah, I was like, that's not what we're talking about.
I know. It's just, I needed to say it.
So, I don't know. I have no prospects at this time.
Me either. And I'm not on Hinge still at this point in time. So. Did you see Brooke Averick talking about her getting them back on Hinge on their podcast? When did our Hinge break start? It was like a few months ago at this point. And I think after being off for a month, I briefly downloaded it again, just because I was kind of like, at that point when we first were like, okay, we're taking a Hinge break, my mindset was like, eventually I feel like I probably will get back on. But I would just, like, needed a break at that time. Mm-hmm. So then, like, a month later, I kind of was like, I think I need to satisfy, like, the curiosity for myself. So I made a new profile. This was, like, in the evening or something. Got all set up. Left my phone be. Got back on, like, in the evening. And I had the same reaction that Brooke Averick had, where I was just like, oh, my God. I'm in the trenches right now. And I deleted that app.
This is no hate to the Hinge men of Des Moines.
I immediately deleted the app again, and I have not had the urge or curiosity to get back on.
It's just so hard because I feel like we've talked about this before, but like if not dating apps, then the alternative is real life. Ideally, I'm trying to like find the balance of like hyping myself up to like if I were to see someone that I'm interested in, you know, seeing if I would approach them. But I would just love to be approached, you know, and that just does not happen. I did see a TikTok. I was going to check up on this girl, actually, because she, again, I love watching other people's dating life, TikToks and stuff. And she had said that she did something really outside of her comfort zone. She went up to this guy at the gym and, like...
They went on a first date. I saw that, if it's the same girl.
Yes. And then they're going to go stargazing or something.
Yep. Yep.
But, like... It's just so, like, it's almost, like, infuriating how, like, easy it is. And you're like, oh, my God, like, they just did that. Mm-hmm. And you get mad at yourself for, like, I could do that, but I don't. And as of right now, I won't.
Do you have a gym crush right now?
No.
So
that would make it hard. I need to like either try out different times of the day. I don't know how I feel about like approaching someone at the gym though. Like,
because it is kind of like both of your sacred places of like, you either have to be okay with just crossing paths if it doesn't work out, or
you know, it would be great. Although like logistically, I don't know how this would work. But like, let's say you see someone and like, you know, like their car in the parking lot or something, you could like leave something, like leave a note on their car. That's non-confrontational. But like, again, I don't know how you would know which car is theirs.
Yeah.
You'd have to see them get out of their car and then be like, that is them. And then you like run and put a note on their car.
That'd be a lot of effort.
It would.
That'd be,
I've just like,
that'd be like weeks of planning, honestly.
I'm just trying to think of like, how would I do this? Or like, you know how like, they say like, oh, all you have to do is just like smile at a guy that you're interested in or like look in his direction. I can't do that. That's too scary. And then I also like perpetually just like, since I'm single, I feel like I'm always like, oh, like every guy is single. And then I'm like, actually 9 times out of 10, they're not.
They're probably, if I'm interested, they're probably already dating someone.
Yeah. If I'm interested, they're already in a relationship. Mm-hmm. Because why wouldn't they be?
Gotta find them when they're fresh out of one.
Yeah. But they need time to heal.
I know. Say, when you're all healed up emotionally,
call me.
Okay. Well, did you have anything else?
No, that's all the notes that I had for launching a relationship.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. If you are watching on YouTube, you should subscribe, or make sure you're subscribed. You should like the video. You could comment a little something. And then if you're listening on anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can give us a review or something. I don't know.
And then I'm sure we'll get like unsolicited advice from men, probably specifically about our dating lives and whatever. But
you can keep that to yourself.
But you won't, which is fine. We will talk to you guys next Thursday.
Bye.